Welcome to the Good Leader Podcast. Today is May 24th. I just want to prompt the podcast by saying this is going to be a tough topic or a hard topic to talk about for some people. It's going to have to do with mental health. It's going to have to do with suicide, prevention, and how we can do a better job of dealing with that. Just to let people know why I'm talking about this topic, and it's for two reasons. One is Memorial Day weekend is coming up. So a lot of the suicides that I dealt with in my law enforcement career had to do with veterans, but it's not a veteran specific thing. Also, I just had a neighbor very close proximity to me. Saw him every day walking his kids. He just took his own life due to a pending divorce. And so I felt compelled to talk about this subject and figure out what we could do better and what are maybe some of the signs leading up to this, and also the impact, the aftermath of when a lot of this stuff happens. Just so people know, this is not a subject that I'm unfamiliar with. In my personal life, or working corrections, working law enforcement, dealt with a lot of suicides, attempted suicides. It wasn't an everyday occurrence, but it wasn't an uncommon occurrence. When people tell me to tell them a crazy law enforcement story, this and that, honestly, like always tell them the story that sticks out in my mind the most is not crazy. This is what we did on for. It was a night shift that I was working, and we had a successful suicide attempt and an unsuccessful suicide attempt. So the suicide attempt, or correction, the successful suicide attempt was a female. We had been to her residence multiple times. I probably encountered this girl like at least myself 3 times. I know other officers had encountered her too. She was a cutter, she was checked into the local facility for dealing with different issues. Uncommon to have dealings with her. Very young. I want to say she was, I remember like 21, 22, very young. So we get this call, health check. We go check on her. The girl at the time, she's there first. I'm the patrol, and I believe I was a sergeant when this happened. So when we get there, my partner's talking to her and communicating with us, saying want to hurt herself. It was a holiday. I believe it was December. Just a common thing, a trend that we know. So a lot of this stuff happens November, December, January, because the holidays, family issues, maybe people are lonely. It just seems like that's a time frame that it happens. We had a point where, we had 1 month where it became Suicide Sunday. Basically, like every Sunday we were dealing with a suicide back to back every Sunday for a while. We go and we're having a conversation with her. She's engaging with. Nothing seems too out of the normal, other than she doesn't really want us. We call fire. They come, they check her out. Everything seems good as far as like her vitals and things like that. She doesn't want to hurt herself. The criteria, just so people know, for us is, are they a danger to themselves, a danger to others, or unable to care for them. She was talking to us. She was coherent. She wasn't saying that she didn't want to hurt herself. She didn't seem to be a danger to anyone else. She was fine standing in her, she was in her pajamas, I believe, talking to my partner. So we're there for, myself, I was there for 15, 20 minutes. Like I said, I was a patrol supervisor, so I'm just making sure everything's good. So then I leave the call. So I'm going to go check on some other stuff. 10 minutes go by. I don't hear anything on the radio as far as clearing the scene. 2 other officers on the scene. So then I'll call. I'm basically like, hey, what's going on? And then the female officer tells me, yes, she does want to hurt herself. She just didn't want to say anything to everyone else. So I'm like, oh, wait, I'm on my way back. I put it out over the net. Basically, hey, dispatch, we're going to put someone on 150 hold. Just my, and her kind of demeanor when we were there, I had to fight. Like she was not, I felt like she was going to go easily. She wasn't very happy that we were there. And I felt as soon as we told her that we are going to take you to the hospital for your own safety, it wasn't going to go good. So I pull up, walk back over to the residence. My partner is again talking to her. A few minutes go by. We're kind of telling her what we're going to do. All of a sudden, she just like kind of foaming at the mouth, passes out. And my partner, we were able to catch her before she hit the ground because it's just standing on tiles. So we don't want her to, impact and hit her head. She just, the mouth, kind of almost like she's having a seizure, it looks like. So we call Fed Fire again. They get over there. Code 3, just kind of cop lingo. That means just they get there, they put her in the ambulance. So we told them the situation, what we're already doing. And then I'm like, okay, so this is what's going on. So then a few minutes go by. I get a call from one of the fire. He tells me, hey bro, you might want to head to the hospital. She's going code blue. I don't know all the lingo hospital stuff. Basically, she's kind of, so I'm like, dang, all right. So I go to the hospital. I'm there at the hospital. She's in the room. By the time I get there, I can hear the monitor. She's beep, 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 beep. Then all of a sudden, ding, it flatlines. She ends up passing away. So in the span of probably an hour, I was talking to this girl, engaging in conversation with her. Come back, she starts. What I found out later on was that she had took something, and she had took so much of it, she basically made herself have like a heart attack. That's why she just all over this boom, it just hit her. I don't know when she took it. I'm not sure what the what she took. I just know that all of a sudden it like took effect. She had a lot of medication in her room, a lot. Like, I mean, a trash bag full of just prescription. I know the female officer that was there, she beat herself up for a couple of days after it because she felt like she noticed it or something could have been done different, and I know she felt guilty. And I'm going to tell people this, and all that I've been to, that when someone wants to hurt themselves or end their life, they're gonna find a way to do it. I've seen guys do it in less than 5 minutes, 2 minutes, like whatever the case may be. They're gonna find a way. There's no stopping them if they made up their mind to it. You can't watch them all day. You can't do all the stuff. We used to get letters from family members in the jail like, hey, why weren't you guys watching them? I've seen it, Lucy, when people are attempting suicide and want someone to intervene, they attempt to Lucy let someone know. When they don't, they just kind of do it in a quick like manner. And there's almost like, I don't really know what the solution to that is to stop them from doing that, because they would have to be basically monitored, strapped down, all day long to kind of prevent them from actually trying to harm themselves. So anyways, I always tell people that's like my most call that burned in my head, because I think this girl was young. She reminded me of my daughter. I think because of the talking to her normally and then seeing her kind of, seizing out and having like a heart attack, to being there when she flatlined and passed away. I don't know, that ingrained itself and kind of burned in my memory. I come back, from the hospital once it cleared. Then the attempted suicide was, we get a call that a wife is saying that her husband is sick. He's having trouble breathing. So we go to this house where the fire is already there. They're talking to him in the room. He's laying on the bed. And we're kind of looking around the house, because it just feels weird, because it's just like, I don't know how to describe it. Trust your, that's what I got to tell people. Sometimes, you got to trust your instincts. So we're looking around the house. We see a note on the kitchen counter. And it's basically like, hey, I'm sorry, I got to do this, and that. So something tells me, look in the garage. Go to the garage. The guy had put the hose from the exhaust pipe into his car, was attempting to end his life, hit him, dragged him to the bedroom, and basically told us she did it because she didn't want it to affect his career. Like, didn't want it to affect his job. I'm not sure what his job, but wanted to affect his job. I always tell people that's my crazy, like, my memory. Like, I pretty much remember every detail of those days. Why I don't know. That was the first time I actually, most of the time, and I've seen people that shot themselves in the head, did other things like that. First time I remember getting off of work, calling my parents and talking to them about it, because how much it kind of was affecting me in a way of where it was like, man, this is something that I don't know why. I'm not sure, maybe because it was a girl. It reminded me of my daughter. Not sure what correlation in my mind, but just more than some other calls. So anyways, the reason I'm choosing to talk about this is because I think that as men, we are not always good with dealing with our emotions and the things that are going on with us, and and how to process things, and women too, right? Where there's not just a men thing, but it's just me kind of talking to the men right now, because the situation with my neighbor, like I said, I seen this guy walking his kids every day, specifically his daughter. I'm not sure if he had a son or something else. I know for sure he had a daughter. I seen this dude like literally every day for probably at least 5 years, walking his kid around, doing all this stuff. So when I heard that, it was very surprising to me, because I know he would just got a promotion at his job, all these other things, and I was like, damn, bro, like, I get it. It sucks. I've been through divorce. It sucks. The concept of thinking of starting over, having to rebuild your life, losing the person that you love, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we're dads, and as dads, it's we have to be selfless, and now it's coming up, with my daughter and her friends, is the little girls are talking about it, because there's probably like 4 or 5 little girls in the neighborhood right here that all hang out together. And now what they're about is, guess what happened to so-and-so's dad, or he accidentally shot him. So that's what's being, the kids are, they're old enough to know that something happened. And as a man and as a dad, I cannot ever picture myself doing that, regardless of the circumstances, because my kids depend on me. People that love you depend on you. There's a book called Resilience. You can look it up on Audible or Amazon, anything like that. I always give a copy of this book to a lot of people. I gotta look up the author's name, but he talks about basically subject in the sense of like, hey, if you consider yourself to be a warrior as a man, when you do this, you're basically taking all the pain that you feel inside, breaking it into pieces and giving it to everybody that loves you and letting them deal with it. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not giving that pain. I'm not giving them, here's the weight of something extra for you to carry for the rest of your life. Like, as a man, we have to learn how to face these things. And I'm not saying that you have to face them alone. You need to reach out to your friends. Like, I was not close friends with this guy. I just knew him from seeing all the time at the park and this and that. But I would have sat there and talked to him if he needed someone to talk to. I would have been like, here, bro, I've been through divorce. I know other people that have been through divorce. Like, it sucks. Yes, it sucks. It is, but it's not the end all be all of your life. And I think people are making a very permanent decision off of a temporary circumstance. I'm not going to pretend that I have all the right answers for everything that needs to be done. But I think it's about, how do you deal with stressful situations, and how do you use that maybe negative situation to make that negative into a positive. I know when I was going through my divorce, that I chose to work out. I chose to not really drink. And when it was going on with me, I personally felt like my professional life was going stellar, and my personal life was in shambles. That's literally like that's how I felt. So I am speaking from a place of, and there is that negative pull that to want to feel sorry for yourself, or how am I going to figure this in? This is a lot of stuff, and ultimately, you deal with it, you learn to deal with it, you kind of adapt and overcome. Is it easy? No. I chose, you need to surround yourself with people that love you and care about you. And there's lessons to be learned from it, but it's definitely not easy, but it is not any reason to go to harm yourself. I think that sometimes that it's just that continued negativity. Like if you're sitting in your house saying my wife or my girlfriend's gonna leave me, and you're constantly on this like repeat of this for days and days and days, isolating yourself, not working out, maybe going to seeking some spiritual guidance, going to church, not you drinking alcohol and just having like a straight up pity party for yourself. Like you're ultimately going to be on the road to making a bad decision. And that's what I think people need to realize. It doesn't need to be like that. There's to handle it. There's different ways to go about it, and the resources are there for things like this. And it takes a strong person to say, I need help, right? You're not a weak person for saying that you need help. I consider me a strong person. I think I'm pretty mentally strong. I'm physical. I've always been around what people consider like alpha male type people, but I'm not afraid of telling someone, hey, I need help with this or that. I've learned that, being humble is a real strength that some people don't have. You can't carry the weight all the time. We're not meant to always carry the weight alone of things. Ultimately, I think sometimes as men we feel like that, like we have to deal with this alone, and that's the whole concept. That's the whole reason I felt compelled to make this brand, and what our mission is because as a good leader, you need to ask for assistance when you need to ask for help, when you need to get some other people involved, or run by, hey, dude, I'm thinking about this, what do you think? Because I would have told you what I would have told the dude is like, you're a dad, bro. You're a dad. Like at the end of the day, you're a dad. So you have a daughter that you're responsible for. You have a mother that loves you, and a dad that loves you. Like you need to put aside like your own personal feelings for it, because making that decision is going to ultimately affect your daughter for years and years and years. It's going to affect your wife for years and years. I'm pretty sure she feels guilty. Your parents, right? Like, come on, bro. Like there's no like, who did it ultimately help? And I think it's kind of like when people make a decision like that, I firmly believe in all the different times that I've gone and seen to suicides. Like if they would have talked to the right person, had some different conversations, they probably wouldn't have made that same decision. And that's why I think that it's super important that us as listeners, us as people that are trying to make ourselves good leaders, better people, better dads, better husbands, boyfriends, brothers, whatever, like recognize when someone maybe needs help and they're not saying that they need help. A lot of times you have to wait for people to be open to talking to you. Like basically, hey, when you're ready to talk about this, I'm here. But it's good for you to reach out and say, I'm here. When you're ready, I'm here, bro. I'm here to talk to you. Society is too selfish now. There's too much selfish bullshit going on where it's all about me, and I'm the main character, this and that. No, it isn't about you. It's about the legacy. It's about the impact. It's about what you are doing with your life and how that ultimately affects people. And that's what people are going to remember. People remember how you left them feeling, not any of that. How do you leave them feeling? And it sucks that this is a conversation that is being had, but it's a conversation that needs to be had. So if anybody's having those issues, I definitely recommend that you reach out to someone that you trust, confide in someone, ask someone's opinion. Don't just have a bad day and be like, this is what I'm gonna do. For all of us, as dads, moms, brothers, sisters, whatever, remember this does affect you. Like it doesn't. Like, you're not going to be there to see the aftermath. You're not going to see there to see your kids struggle. You're not going to be there to see when when your kid is with other kids talking about what their dad did or what their mom did. Like, that's some like selfish shit. People don't want to say that, or this is what it is. Because you are. There's no way I'm looking at my daughter and being like, hey, you're gonna fend for yourself without me. Like no fuck way. You better kill me, bro. Like I'm not doing that. Like there's no excuse for it. I think we need to learn to process things better, and hopefully having these type of conversations, we can do that. I don't want to keep going on and on about this because it's going to be basically me repeating the same shit. But it does kind of make me angry. That's probably more and more like cussing more. Like, not angry in the way I'm just like want to yell or anything like that, but angry in the way of like how was it, and being in the military or law enforcement. Like yes, it's this shit sucks sometimes, but sometimes you gotta lace up your boots, get the fuck out of bed, and go handle your business. And when you do that, the days end up, it gets better. Sooner or later, it gets better. But it's gonna test you a little bit, and that's where you get to build character. But if you just in the middle of all that, just I had enough and just boom, hit that off switch. That's it, bro. That's it. That's your legacy. Everything else before that, probably doesn't get remembered as much as that. And your kids don't, your kids are gonna go. That's gonna be the constant conversation. Your name becomes associated with that. Like your name, everything that you did gets overshadowed. Every good thing you did gets overshadowed by some bullshit, whether it was a compulsive decision or something you thought out. There's a better way. There's a better way. So reach out, ask someone for help. You don't, like I said, you gotta face it. Doesn't mean you gotta face it alone. That person knows when to ask for help. That's my conversation for today. Just something for people to think about. Feel free to leave comments, thoughts, anything like that. I'm not trying to offend anyone. This is just my opinion on this. And like I said, it's someone who I've been around this a good portion of my life and in my career field, and not once have I ever seen it where it was like a good thing, where something good came out of it and everyone like felt like, oh, this is really the right way to go about this. And never once have I seen it turn out to that. Everyone what you do is you see the pain in the family, you see the hurt, you see the confusion, you see from everybody, because it's usually the pain of the immediate confusion of that knew this person and why didn't they ever say anything. All it is pain being passed out like candy to everyone and saying, here, take a bite. And ultimately, what if they're going through that stuff? Now you're pushing them over the edge, because now they're like, hey, he did it, why shouldn't I do it? Just like light reflects light, you know what I mean? Like evil reflects, evil, bad things they push off of other things. So you don't know how that's going to affect someone else to push them over the edge. So that's it for this conversation. Hopefully you get something out of it. I appreciate any feedback, and we got to do better. That's it. Good.